Oh dear. I think the Home Secretary has a thing about GOLLIWOGS. I kid you not. Don't click off, I will explain. Suella Braverman, or Suella Braverman, after all, that is her real name. Well, she was accused the other day of being a racist by Lady Ryley over her statement regarding Pakistani white men. Or white Pakistani men. Basically, she slandered them all as being, sex offenders and members of grooming gangs, etc. Yeah. And now she thinks that a Golliwog pub invasion, or raid you could say, by the police was a waste of time. What the hell's going on? Anyway, before I continue, we most kindly boop the old like button. And there will be a secret word at the end of this video. Well, the Home Secretary said that she made her views very plain to the police over Gollywog doll seizures. I'm not talking about those sort of seizures, no, I'm talking about they were removed from an Essex pub. Well, it's not surprising though that this evil woman, and she is evil, Suella Braverman, or Suella Braverman, yeah, well she lied again to the British people. Because she told the police that she made her feelings clear. But the police are accusing, Suella Braverman of lying. And deny that they've even been contacted by her. And say they have, they investigate all allegations independently. Good. You meant to. Well, this pub. And I think I know it, actually, because I used to work in Grays at one point, and oh my God, what a place. Well, the owner, Benice Ryley, she said that I can't see any harm in keeping the dolls, she said, yeah. Well, quite frankly, this is the Brexit disease. You know what they say. Not everybody who voted for Brexit is a racist, but every racist voted for Brexit. Well, it really is. And if you don't understand that there is a problem of putting these dolls in your pub on display, about 24, 25, there's a lot of them. It's like a topography of, more than a triptych, or diptych, anyway, it's a topography of these Gollywog dolls. Well, I will explain, if you wonder what a Gollywog is, I will explain in this video. Because that Gollywog was a symbol of race hate. It still is, really. Many people, the younger generation, wouldn't even know what a Gollywog is. No. Thankfully. Well, if you don't think there's a problem, I think you've got a problem. Well, the monarchy as well is also a symbol of slavery, for instance. So we found out recently from day one. And you got to think about the cross as well. All these symbols are conics, you see. Conics, semionics and all that. Yeah, apparently Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross. Made the cross a symbol. Well, Essex Police took several of these dolls from White Hart Inn in Grays, it was only last week, after receiving a hate crime complaint on the 24th of February. Well, I've worked in Grays, like I said, and let's say I'm not surprised, and I'm pretty certain I can remember being in this pub. That would have been in the early 2000s, probably about 2004, 2000, early 2000s. And at the time, I have to admit, that place, I'm sorry if you lived there and that offends you, but bugger, I'll tell you, that's not. I would not want to live there. I used to stay there all week and just come home on the weekends, is what we used to do. And there was just scrapping all the walls in Thurrock. And we were working on blocks of flats down there. And there were like groups of 3 flats, 14 floors, including the parapet. And we're doing the overcladding on these buildings. Not like Grenfell Tower, no. It's just like a cement board panel with granite chippings on the face of it. And we basically had to insulate outside the buildings and put these panels on. Well, sort of bringing into modern times and making more cost effective, easy to heat and what have you. Regeneration of the area is what they're trying to do, but by God, I think that's a losing battle. I'm sorry if you live there. I'm sure there's good people there as well, like Donald Trump would say. But I have to admit, it was dire. Grays is dire. I was not impressed. Really well. Anyway, hopefully it's changed since then. But, so look, so I'm not surprised about that pub. No. Now, I bet she had, well, a sign on her door. I don't know, whites only or something like that on the door. I'd be a bit surprised. I don't understand how people can't think there was something wrong with this. Well, the Gollywog, you see, was based on an 18th century, minstrels, and it's now what's considered to be a racist caricature. And so it should be. Whenever it was depicted, like, for instance, the Golliwogs were also in Noddy, for instance, and they were those the naughty ones. And you look at most of, like, the characters in Noddy, Enid Blyton's Noddy, well, you look at most of the characters in there, they look a bit odd. They all do. But, they have all the normal features and stuff like that. But not the Golliwogs, no. They have, big old, like, afro-type head, googly eyes and stuff, and just, like, pitch black, and it's just bright red lips and stuff like that. It's just obvious racism, even with the flipping kids program. You'd have to see it to believe it, really. Anyway, that was the Noddies. The Noddies, so the Golliwogs. And as a kid, you're growing up, you think nothing of it, you think it's normal, you see. And that might be the problem why we've got a lot of the older generation don't see it is half of this stuff as being racist at all, because they've been indoctrinated. That's what I think, anyway. I might be wrong. Conditioning, you could say. Well, some of you may remember these black and white minstrel show, because I do. I remember the reruns and that, sitting there with my father. I think it was on the BBC, actually. I've actually got a couple of LPs just for don't play them, obviously, just historical reasons. Really. You don't often find things like that, and you think, oh my God, it's a reminder what we were like. You know what I mean? A reminder of basically how in the British public how racist we all were. I say we were. Well, it's not really, not quite my generation. Just before my father's generation, I should say. Well, the thing about the black and white minstrel show, though, is that they call it the black and white minstrel. And the thing is, they were all just white people blacked up. Well, apart from the lead, I think his name is George or something. Anyway, so that was a black and white minstrel show. No dancing and stuff like that. Well, why did you need to have? No, why? Why couldn't why couldn't we just have black people dancing or whatever? Why can't? Oh, you know what it's like, especially at the time. It's yeah. And they had separate toilets and separate wash facilities for black people. Evil times, absolutely evil, horrible. Well, also remember the face of the Golliwog was the face on the the character on the Robinson's Jam. You remember stripy Robinson's Jam with the Gollywog on it? There's that too, wasn't there? And like I said a minute ago regarding Noddy, recently the Gollywog was omitted from the Robinson's Jam, but also from Noddy. But only just recently, it was only in 2009 it was omitted by Enid Blyton's granddaughter, actually. Well, she made that decision. Because all this stuff is indoctrination of our young into to believe or to think that racism is normal, like it's something we just accept. That's why we should, ignore those who have weaponised that term woke and just say, okay, let's just have a bit of social awareness. Let's just be decent to each other, Unless obviously you've been attacked, what have you, constantly. Well, then maybe you might hit back, a bit like Keir Starmer's recent campaign. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, I'm just glad that most normal people would see this as being unacceptable. For having on display a mass of these racist, unless you're making a point of it being racist, it's about context then, you see. But if you've got all these racist dolls, just what they were, the character's racist, on your walls for everybody to see, as though it's normal behaviour, well then I think that's a problem, I really do. But on the other hand, I also think we are getting a little bit too politically correct. But as far as racism is concerned, there's no exceptions. No. None whatsoever. No. The thing is, you see, when all this stuff was removed from market, such as the Gollywog removed from the Robinson's jam or from the Noddy and what have you, it made us think. It made us, even us youngsters, we thought, what's wrong with it? We don't understand. Well, then you start asking questions. Why is it wrong? And then you watch things like Roots and programs like that at the time, and you think, oh, okay. I think I get it. Or at least I hope that you did. Well, and so is Suella Braverman. Quite frankly, is she? Is she racist? Well, I think she is blatantly racist, and she's, her roots are Kenya. She's from Kenya, and she behaves like that. I think she's just sucking up to those far right white males just to keep her job. That's what I think. And it's become so indoctrinated in herself, she doesn't see herself as being, of Kenyan heritage. She just sees herself as another right-wing fascist. That's what I think. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. Anyway, the secret word, that's at the end of this video. I kind of hinted on it earlier, actually, because I was thinking, but I think we're in a bit of a jam, you see. I think we really are. With Brexit, with racism becoming the norm again, normalised by the Home Secretary of all people, who happens to be of Kenyan heritage and with a brown face, You'd think she'd understand, wouldn't you? But no. So we are in a jam, and the secret word today is jam. But please beat the old like button, and there will be another video very soon. I need to make another one. Yeah. Anyway, if you want to support the channel, do it on Patreon or Buy Us a Coffee, and the links are down below in the description. And it is very much appreciated that it is. It really is. It's time for me to go, so I said to tell Okay. Are you still there?